Hi there. For many of us, your work schedule as a restaurant manager can be the hardest thing. Everyone else that has regular schedules, they don't work nights, they don't work early mornings, and your job may require you to have some flexibility with that. And I found that you can work with your manager, or if you are the general manager, you can have some flexibility over that and use it to your advantage. So one thing that comes up a lot is working early mornings, right? And then what happens is sometimes the night before you'll have to work a late night, and that kind of thing is not good for your sleep. So when you think about these things, you need to understand that as much as you have control over it, you need to have control over it, because sleep is so crucial. And especially when you're a general manager, you are the confidence, you are the energy of this organization. People rely on you, they look to you, they talk to you, and they want to get passion, they want to get excitement and things like that from you. So if you're dead tired, that's the kind of energy that you're going to put out, and some people can mask it really well and some people can't, and I think that comes with experience. But as much as you can, make it work for yourself, make it work for your body. So always prioritize like a consistency in scheduling. So even if because this is where it gets tricky, is because a lot of people have different skill sets, right? Like, so someone who's really good at opening and not as good as closing, or this person who's really good at everything, so you put them on the most important shifts, like the busiest times. And so there's a lot of things at play here, and I've talked a little bit about scheduling before, but it's a little bit of the game of Sudoku. So what you want to do is think about it smart. So as one of your Sudoku, because what I talk about with Sudoku is I talk about how you have someone's availability, you have the business needs, you have their skill set. So you have these different things to take into play. Like, let's say there's an opening shift where there's going to be a big event. Okay, well, so-and-so's not available there, but they were the person that you would pick. Okay, who's your second best pick? Okay, that won't work because they're closing the night before. So that's kind of the second element. The fourth element that comes into planning your schedules. So this gets kind of tricky, and there's no easy way around it. The best thing that I've seen is you give yourself some space if you're going to swap times. So for example, if you need someone to close on Tuesday night, but they're usually an opener, well, that night that they close, give them some breathing room. Maybe that's their 2 days off. After that, they can recover, and then they get back into the swing of opening again. So you can do it that way. Another thing that I've seen is kind of like a hill down slope. So for example, you open the first day, you open the first 2 days, you are a mid shift, and then you're closing, and then you have 2 days off, and it kind of gives yourself like a kind of pattern for it. And it sounds different, right, to think about someone's sleep patterns, but honestly, when you think of people as people, you're gonna find yourself going stronger and faster and further in business, because these people are your lifeblood. And there's something to say about like, hey, suck it up, you're gonna have to do a close and open tomorrow, like you're gonna have to do a close-in tomorrow. And I don't have a problem saying that to people. I don't have a problem saying, hey, I wouldn't like to do this to you, but I'm kind of in a pickle, I've got this situation, this is the best thing I can come up with, but in those situations, you're also dealing with danger. Like, it's not healthy to have someone work with such little sleep and have someone drive with such little sleep. So that's where you've got to take that into account as well. You'll also notice morale. I mean, morale is so crucial in this business. Like, you're just a customer-focused, customer-centric business. You can't afford to have people that are not in it to win it and that are just throwing away great customer service. So those are the bottom lines for me is you have to take into account that these people are people, treat them the way you'd want to be treated. And I remember, like, one of my best managers, what she would do is she would put so much thought and care into it that I felt like she was on my side, and it made me work harder for her, right? So when I come into a shift and I know, wow, she's picked out this shift for me, she knows that, you know, she used to tell me, like, oh, it's going to be a really busy day that day, that's why I picked you to be the lead that day, you know. And I felt like, okay, she's got, like, she trusts me, and I'm going to work so hard to prove her right, blah, blah, blah. And then when things came up, like, she was like, you know, I didn't have any choice, but I really need you to close that night. It's going to be a really important night. And unfortunately, the morning after we have that big event, and it'd be really crucial if you could help me do it, close and open. But don't worry, I gave you 2 days off after that, you know. And I was like, okay, good, you know. And always talk to your people, because when there's holidays that come up, like for us, holidays were no one was allowed to have off, like, kind of rule. But she has some flexibility, like the general manager has flexibility over it. He or she can decide, you know, who's going to have Christmas Eve off, who's going to have, you know, the night of Christmas Eve off, who's going to have the day after Christmas off, who's going to have, you know, New Year's Eve off. So you can have some flexibility with it, you know, and you got to just kind of give everyone one of those, you know, give everyone, like, one person gets Christmas Eve off, but then they work, you know, Christmas the day after Christmas. You know, one person works Christmas, but then they get New Year's Eve off. So having some flexibility with that, I think, is crucial. At the end of the day, there are people, unfortunately, you know, are not going to show up for those shifts, and you can be prepared with, you know, a write-up and a backup plan. But you know, if you have someone who you know is a partier, having them show up for New Year's Day at 5 a.m. is probably not a smart idea. So someone like me is someone they would pick for those kind of shifts, because I don't drink, I don't stay up late, and that situation would be perfect for me, because, you know, I like to open. Like I said, I don't do anything those nights. So, you know, you've got to kind of work with what you've got. I think it would be not very wise to pick the partier and have them open New Year's Day, because you'd just be like, you saw this coming and it came, and yeah. All right, that's it for today.